Gridiron Grinder! Hut hut hike!
All right, party people. It's Wednesday night, Gridiron Grinder time. I'm Ryan. With me, as always, is my buddy James. Just a couple of dudes hanging out, talking about what's going on in the NFL each week. This is episode 189 of Gridiron Grinder. We are going to kick things off with Name That Stadium, like we always do. Then we're going to do a quick recap of the news from this past week. After that, we are going to keep the draft train rolling and give you our team grades, pick grades, whatever, for the first three rounds. We did a little recap of the first round last week. Now we're going through the first three rounds. And then after that, we'll close it off with our question of the week. And so, yeah, man, with all that being said, how's it going tonight, James?
It's going good. How's it going with you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Rocking the two monitor system tonight. And, I'll probably be looking back and forth all night, but that's just how I'm going to do it. So,
Yeah, I always rock the two monitors. It makes it easier for me. At work I have three, so
okay. Yeah, you must have them fairly close together because I don't like see you moving your head a ton. But,
yeah. So
my,
like right here is the edge of my computer, and right just outside the edge of my computer here is the monitor.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I guess
I've
I could probably like move it a little bit and make it not as painful to all the way over here.
eh,
So,
yeah, no, I have it set up. I just kind of put my personal computer on top of my work computer for the show, and then switch it back
gotcha.
for when I'll back to work.
Sweet. All right. Well, hey, man, whenever you're ready, how about you give us a little name that stadium action?
All right, so we have nobody that wants to fucking play this game, but
Nobody wants to play with us.
as you can see, I travel around different stadiums that host NFL games. The first person that guesses right, the extra special shout out, bookmark it, play it back for all your friends. Maybe two of them, three of them, however many you might have.
More than
Um,
us.
More than us probably, but anyways, last week I was at MetLife, specifically for the Jets setup at MetLife because of the scheduled release and how many primetime games the Jets had, along with the NFL basically saying, well, the Jets owe us.
Oh, yeah. Which, I mean, that's kind of weird. I'd say, no, you fucked it up last year. Now you don't get any.
Yeah, but I did think of something when I was taught when I said the last team that when I was talking about Carolina and the schedule release, I said the last team that didn't get a primetime game was Detroit in 22, and they almost made the playoffs. I was wrong. It was Houston last year, and they won the fucking division.
Ah, wow. Houston didn't have any primetime games. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I come across an article that was talking about uh, Carolina. I can't remember the coach's name off the top of my head. Was
Oh,
how
is
he
it Dave Canales or whatever?
yeah
The old offensive
how
coordinator from Tampa
how
Bay?
they had to earn the primetime game or some shit like that. And I was
Yeah.
like, and that there's something along the similar lines that what's this? DeMarco Murray, not DeMarco Murray,
DeMeco Ryans?
DeMeco Ryans. Why the fuck did I think DeMarco Murray?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. DeMeco Ryan said going into last season. So
yeah.
and they did end up earning a primetime game the last game of the year, but they weren't scheduled for any.
Gotcha. Okay, so they got flexed into one.
Yeah, because you know how the last.
I
Sorry,
hear
can you
I
hear
hear
that?
little kid action. Yep.
Damn. Um,
That's
was it?
okay.
You know how the last Sunday of the season they they everything's to be determined. They try to align,
Yeah.
win and get in, and whatever other shit. So
Well, that's
yeah.
cool.
But
Okay.
anyway, but I picked the Jets because of how many early primetime games they had in the league, saying that the Jets owed them.
All right, we're back. So you gave us the stadium. I like the one that you got going behind you this week. It's pretty cool looking. And fuck the Jets. That's all I got to say.
Well, people apparently don't pay attention enough because I said it like 4 times and
Yeah.
chanted Jets like as I was talking about the previous week, or previous time. But hey, it
Well,
is what it is.
and it's the early part of the show, right? You'd think that if anybody's watching, they would at least get through Name That Stadium.
You would think.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that means that we have zero viewers and it's just you, me, Tori, and some bots or something out there that are coming across our channel. So,
Who knows?
yeah. So much for the 200 plus view days. 200, not thousand views. But yeah. All right. Well, hey, keeping it going here. Let's do our recap of the past week, James. And so I've only got a handful of things on here. I'll start with the sad news, which, I would say is really not even too sad, but Jim Otto, legendary Raiders center who played for 15 seasons in the NFL, passed away at the age of 86. And so sad that he died, but 86 years old is a pretty good full life, and 15 years in the NFL is pretty impressive. So, I think that guy, it's like more of like a celebration than anything, right? So, that's a heck of a way to live your life. So,
Yeah, he's lived a long life. So, I mean, it's sad that he passed away, but I mean, like you said, it was long ass fucking life.
yeah, pretty good, pretty good. So then, James, moving on to other topics, we've got a couple of retirements that were announced this past week. One of them is wide receiver Devontae Parker, formerly of the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots, and recently signed with the Eagles, but he's not going to end up playing any games for the Eagles because he decided to hang him up and retire. Former first round pick, seemed like he had some potential early on in his career, but just kind of never really got over that hump and then sort of just like slowly sunk into the abyss. And so, it's all right. I mean, the NFL's tough, but I think he played for like 9 years or something. So, I mean, still, pretty good that he was able to hang around that long.
And I missed the name you said at the beginning. I feel like an ass, but
You're talking about,
somehow I know you said who retired, and then like,
oh, Devontae Parker.
thank you. I was like, I know you just said this, but
Yeah.
I cannot remember who you just said.
Yeah, you blanked on me. It's okay. And then the next guy is running back David Johnson. I didn't even realize he was still floating around in the league, but he officially has retired, formerly of the Arizona Cardinals and the Houston Texans. He was part of that trade for DeAndre Hopkins, and man, like really didn't do anything for Houston, but um, he had some good seasons early on, especially, if you played fantasy football, you were hyped up on David Johnson. And then I know like one of the years he got hurt, like in week one or something, I think he broke his forearm or something. And kind of like from there, it all just sort of like fell apart for him. But he was one of those guys that was like a legit dual threat running back, could run the ball really well and could run with power, but he could also catch the ball really well out of the backfield. And so he's retired, and so those guys are moving on in life, and hopefully the next chapter is good for them. But um, next up, we've got
He was,
Brand.
I was,
Oh,
I
go
didn't
ahead.
realize he hadn't retired.
Yeah, I would have thought he would have retired because I haven't heard his name in a long time.
So I just looked up his Wikipedia page, and like he was with the Saints in 22 barely for like
Okay.
he had but like last year he had before that with the last year with the Texans he only had like 228 yards.
Hmm.
But I mean,
Yeah, and I don't think
it,
he's had like a legit season since like one of his first couple years.
uh, I don't think he had a legit season. Probably yeah. Two, well, I mean, not bad in 2020, his first year with Houston.
How do you do?
But
What were his stats?
played in he played in 12 games, had 700 yards rushing, 315 receiving,
Yeah, that's pretty
8
good, I
total
guess.
touchdowns.
For the amount of games he played, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but outside of that, like he had an okay year in 18, but just his second season was really all he had.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. And I think I think he split some time early on with Chris Johnson when
I
Chris
think you're
Johnson was there.
right.
But either way, uh, his days are done. His days are numbered, and that's fine.
Yeah, so Johnson, um, or Chris Johnson was there. He actually started out with as the fourth string running back there in
Okay.
Arizona, behind Andre Ellington, Chris Johnson, and then Stepfan Taylor.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be Steven, but it's Stepfan.
No, I think that's right. I remember that guy. Some of these guys got crazy names, man.
Yeah, but he split some time. Oh, he kind of took over for Johnson his rookie year because Chris Johnson broke his tibia or
Okay.
fractured his tibia.
All right. So let's talk Brandon Ayuk, James. He is not participating in OTAs. Surprise, surprise. Pushing for a new contract. We knew this was coming, right? I mean, when
Hmm.
they drafted a wide receiver early on in the first round, whatever, everybody kind of thought a trade was going to be imminent. They may still work out a deal with him, right? I think they're trying to. They just haven't gotten there yet. And so, but for his purposes, he's just going to step away until, the pressure mounts and maybe they get something done.
There's a few players that aren't participating in OTAs. Like, I mean, it's voluntary anyways. I'm not with San Francisco. There's not much change from last year.
Yeah.
It's not going to really, it's not going to affect much for it. It's not like they're bringing in a new quarterback or new
No.
offensive coordinator or anything. So OTAs don't really mean much at this point in the off season.
Yeah. As long as he's working out right and, keeping his body where it needs to be, he'll be fine.
Yeah, and like you're right, they drafted a wide receiver in the first round, which is basically it. He is their replacement. I if I remember correctly from like my notes on him, his pro comparison was Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, oh, that's funny.
Oh no, sorry, his pro comparison was Tyler Boyd.
Ah, gotcha, gotcha.
I mean,
Who had, a pretty good career in Cincinnati, right? So,
yeah, exactly. So and the analysis on him from from Matt Miller was helps alleviate those concerns about Ayuk. Fantastic player from the slot, gives the 49ers height, speed, and great jump ball player. Should Debo Samuel or Ayuk be moved in the future?
yeah, yeah, it's giving him
So
some options. Yeah,
yeah, giving them options, kind of telling Ayuk, hey, we can replace you. Sign
yeah,
sign sign what you got.
yeah. All right, so keeping it moving, I saw the Atlanta Falcons have added four limited partners. I think some of it's like pending, the deal getting pushed through all the way, but four limited partners to the ownership group. I don't know. I kind of wonder what that's all about because you don't hear a lot about ownership changes like that, but you know, I don't know if they wanted to add these guys as like strategic partners or if it was to get some kind of influx in capital or whatever the case may be. But, either way, their ownership group is growing in Atlanta. And I know, Arthur Blank's getting a little long in the tooth, right? But, um, you know, there's always a reason for it. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I I had missed that, so I wanted to see who in these. Okay, so it was approved by all 32 owners already. recognize some of those names? Why do I recognize? Like, I think one of them is that a fucking gymnast?
Oh no, did you audit them? No.
Yeah, so one of them was Dominic Dawes, who was a gymnast who took gold in the Atlanta Olympics.
Okay.
I think another one of them's another Rosalind Brewer. I really recognize all these names, so I don't know. Okay, so Rosalind Brewer is a chemist and
Okay.
former CEO of Walgreens,
Gotcha.
which isn't Walgreens based in Atlanta?
I don't know actually, but I mean that it could be appropriate that they're Atlanta-based people.
No, Walgreens is Illinois. Must be
Well,
another one.
maybe the boots part of it. They had that merger or whatever. Could have been. You know.
Oh yeah, Boots is no Boots is Europe.
Well, yeah, but it's all right, all right. The Walgreens Boots Alliance. So it's that I guess was combining with overseas then.
Yeah. So Boots was headquartered in England, and
Okay.
they added Will Packer, which I think that's like he was like an announcer or something, a
Okay.
producer from Florida.
Just big name famous people.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah. Not necessarily celebrities, but big famous rich people.
Yeah. So Will Packer is most known for three movies: Ride Along, Girls Trip, and Night School.
Okay.
So comedies. And who knows who Rashawn Williams is because he does not have a Wikipedia page.
Hmm. Okay.
So who knows why they did?
Yeah. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. So then the Pittsburgh Steelers, James, they are going to be hosting the 2026 NFL Draft. I just
Hmm.
saw that earlier. So good for them. That could be a fun venue for the draft. As long as the weather cooperates, I suppose. But Pittsburgh, probably similar to Detroit, maybe even a little bit warmer. So, you know,
Where's the 25? 2025 is in Green Bay.
F the Packers.
Yeah. Yeah, 2025 is in Green Bay. I started to ask where's 2025 draft, and I was like, oh no, it's Green Bay.
Yeah. Although one day I would like to try to get out to Lambeau just to say I was there.
Yeah, but it's next to fucking impossible to get tickets there.
What? You just buy them on the, secondary market, man.
Yeah, I don't want to pay fucking Packers fans shit.
Well, I got you. If it's a one-time thing, I don't know. I could probably do it. All right. So the last thing I had on the news here is that Roger Goodell apparently is dropping comments about the NFL possibly moving to an 18 game schedule. He's saying it's something that's discussed likely in their long range plans, but there's no like particular timeline on it because obviously it's got to be approved by the players and whatever else. But I mean, let's be real. The NFL is very clearly money hungry and they're doing things that are like blasting their revenues through the roof every year. And so now that they're starting to sort of like saturate and maximize their 57 different streaming partners, you know, the next lowest hanging fruit is going to be adding a game to the schedule so you have one more game of revenue. And so I'm sure the players will get on board with it. You know, they're going to complain that it's hard on their bodies, and I'm sure it is. I don't want to like discount that, but at the end of the day, they're going to want the money, right? And so um, it'll move in that direction, and it's just a matter of time. You know, and it could be one of these things where they trim another preseason game to make it happen or whatever, but it's going to be something to move the needle financially. And so, you know, I mean, the other angle is you get more international fan base. I know they're talking about like Australia getting a game at some point, and that's fine. That'll help boost the viewers and make a little bit more money and whatever else. But another game on the schedule, that's like a tangible, fairly measurable thing that would give them a significant boost. So,
So this was weeks ago that he made this comment about the 18 game schedule on the Pat McAfee show.
and it's like just now hitting NFL Network.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And kind of the full quote is, I think we're good at 17 now. But listen, we're looking at how we continue. I'm not a fan of the preseason. The reality is I'd rather replace a preseason game with a regular season game any day. That's just picking quality. If we get to 18-2, that's not an unreasonable thing.
I think the preseason games have value. I think they're, I don't know, I think they're
Yeah.
discounting it, but whatever.
Yeah. So, but if they went to an 18 game schedule, that would push the Super Bowl back to like the end of February, which is a little ridiculous.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess that's right because unless they move the season up, which, you know, it's always been after Labor Day. So,
Yeah.
and
Who
I
knows?
don't know that it matters to me that it's 1 week later in February for the Super Bowl, but, you know, I hear what you're saying.
So, as part of Goodell's comments today, one thing, or was it today? I think it was today. So I thought Brady was part of the ownership group in the Raiders,
He's,
but if,
I heard he was trying to be, but it hasn't been like all the way pushed through yet.
yeah. So I thought he was already, which I mean it's a little bit different. Like I don't know. It's just I mean splitting hairs really if you're
Yeah.
talking. But it's for some reason I thought he was already part of the ownership group, which it's just kind of a couple weeks ago when we talked about Brady said he wouldn't be against a late season return
Yeah.
or whatever shit he said, and I said, well, he can't because he's part of an ownership group, but he's not part of an ownership group,
No, not yet.
so he could.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The options are on the table.
So, what else do you have for the news?
That's all I got, man. How about you?
So, apparently, which this might be a good thing, this might be a bad thing. The league in the 2024 preseason is going to test an optical tracking system for line to gain rulings with eyeing implementation this season.
Okay. So yeah,
Um,
if it's working in the preseason, they might just say, "Hey, week 1, we're going to go live."
so apparently it had been tested this past season in NFL stadiums. Nobody knew about this shit.
Yeah, you're talking like the microchip inside the ball.
No, like optical.
Gotcha. So
I,
like
I don't know, like,
with cameras?
yeah. So in March, the NFL's competition committee quietly approved its use across all teams in the preseason before the league fully implements it for the full season.
Okay. Yeah, I remember at one point they were talking about you could have sort of like a microchip in each tip of the ball, and then sort of like, on like the sides, kind of flanking it on the inside, and it wouldn't really change the weight of the ball, but you could get like an accurate measurement that way. But all
So
right,
all their balls, all the NFL footballs have microchips in them. Apparently, they have for years. But the technology won't employ the chip. It relies entirely on optical tracking.
okay,
The system was used at MetLife and Hard Rock last year.
all right,
So apparently, they're looking to see if there's problems such as latency issues um, this preseason, and if there are, um, then they'll push it back till next season.
gotcha.
I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
The last one, I don't know if we've covered this. I don't remember when I just happened to see it. Was Antonio Brown filed for bankruptcy?
Uh, Antonio Brown, such a sad story for such a
Yeah,
promising guy.
I mean, it has to do with the fact that he doesn't want to pay anybody.
Yeah,
He owes nearly 3 million to 8 different creditors,
dang.
which part of it is the 1.2 million court judgment and the moving truck incident. And apparently, according to his filing, he claims his assets just are worth $50,000 or less.
Jeez. It's sad, man. It's sad. That dude was on top of the world at one point, and now he's had a horrible fall from grace.
But apparently, he's releasing a new album this summer.
Go in the rap game. Okay. Or maybe it's country music. I don't know. But, either way.
Yeah, who knows?
All right. What else
So
you got?
how do you make $88 million as a player and have less than 50,000? All right, I'm not going to knock him. I've never seen close to that amount of money in my life,
Yeah.
so
It's just a bummer.
it's a bummer. It sucks, and we can move on.
Okay.
That was the last bit of news I had. We can move on to the main event, so to
All right.
speak.
Yeah. Main event. Let's do our NFL draft grades for the first 3 rounds, James. And so we'll do it alphabetically as we've done in the past. We'll start with the Arizona Cardinals. These guys, man, I mean, it's like starting off with a bang here. They made 7 picks in the first 3 rounds, yeah, which is impressive that they were able to accumulate that many draft picks. And I would just say it was much needed, right? Because this is a team the last few years that was sort of like getting stripped down every
Hmm.
season with talent. And now they need to start building it back, which I'm glad they're doing because I like their head coach. I was worried that he was going to be one and done last year because he was inheriting a pile of dog shit. But kind of put together a valiant effort. He's back. Now he's getting some of his guys, and hopefully can keep that momentum moving forward. And so um, I know you got some letter grades on these. I thought we would kind of talk it out, and then I'll just kind of like plop them in here on our spreadsheet, and we can do like an overall team grade when we get through each of the picks. But so uh, at number 4 overall, they took wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. At 27, they took edge guy Darius Robinson, 43, cornerback Max Melton, 66, running back Trey Benson, 71, offensive tackle Isaiah Adams, 82, tight end Tip Raymond, and then at 91, they took cornerback Elijah Jones. Where did these grades come out for you, my man?
So first, Arizona, a lot of Arizona's picks they had in this draft were acquired in, or a portion of them were acquired from Houston in that trade last year. Um, Arizona, I just looked up Atlanta, which we'll get to them in a second.
Yeah.
Arizona started the draft off really solid. Um, they got Darius Robinson, big need for them. They got Marvin Harrison, probably one of the biggest no-brainer picks
Yeah.
in the draft. A.
Yeah.
Then you get to at 43 they picked Max Melton. I thought that was a little bit of a reach for him. Did fit a need, so I actually gave that. I gave because I thought it was a little bit of a reach, even though he was the best corner
Yeah, I
back
was just
on
going to
the
say,
board.
yeah, I think he was the top available for the position. But yeah, I hear you. He was ranked 53rd, and they took him at 43. So I got you. Yeah.
And then with Trey Benson, I wanted to. It's what I one thing I wanted to look at real quick with him. I gave that a B as well. I thought it was like it would have been an A if I thought it was a true need of theirs. They had other positional needs that they still
Yeah.
needed to address and could have addressed there, and they didn't. But with it being him being rated 58 and being the 66 pick, I kind of can
It's
see that.
close. Yeah, and James Conner, he's been good for them, but he's also had some injury stuff over the years, and in running back years getting a little bit long in the tooth. So I see where it makes sense, but I agree, it wasn't one of their top needs.
And then their fucking draft fell off the fucking rails.
Oh yeah.
Way, way overreach for Isaiah Adams. F. Way overreach for tight end Tip Raymond, who not really a need anyways. F.
Yeah.
A little bit another way overreach for Elijah Jones. At the time they picked him, he was probably one of the best cornerbacks still on the, if not the best, one of the best still on the board. But I mean, it's
Yeah,
to
it looks
pick
like
him
he
in the
was the
third
best
round,
on the board. Yeah.
to pick him in the third round with a late fourth round grade. I thought that was a little bit of a stretch. I would have liked to see them go somewhere else with that pick.
Okay.
Um, but it did fit a need they had, so I gave that one a D.
A D is in dog.
D as in dog.
Oh man, you're hard on that one. I didn't think it was that bad, but all right. So you did an A for the first two. What did you give Max Melton and Trey Benson?
I gave both of those Bs.
B's, and then we got two F's and a D. Okay. That's fine. We'll keep it there. I probably would have been a little nicer about the Elijah Jones one just because, we were seeing such a run on cornerbacks that he was the top guy available, but I do agree it was, I mean that's a 30 something spot reach, right? And so um, you know, it can't be an A. But that's fine. All right, I'm good with that. Let's what do you think? Do you want to like do a team grade based off of this, or do you want to go through all the teams and then kind of come back and think about it? How do you want to do it here, bud?
Let's let's team grade. I probably give them a B.
A B?
A B.
Well, that's pretty good considering they got two Fs in there. But yeah, I mean, I like a B, and I would give them probably a boost in the grade just for the volume of picks, right?
Exactly.
Because they're throwing a lot of darts, and that's important to do in the draft. And so I like a B for those guys. That's good. All right, so then next up we got the Atlanta Falcons, and so these guys at number 8, they took quarterback Michael Penix Jr. You and I talked a lot about that last week. At 35, they took defensive tackle Rook Aurora. Aurora. I don't even know how you say his name. It sounds like I got peanut butter in my mouth or something. And then at 74, they took edge Braylon Trice, which I mean I like that they took the edge guy, and I think at 80 he had an 89 ranking. It's 74 overall. he was, I believe, and I'm just looking, yeah, he was the best guy on the board at that point for the edge position. I just would have preferred they addressed it earlier, maybe with the first round pick, but that's okay. So what did you? I think we agreed last week that we both would have f-bombed Penix, right?
Yes, definitely would have F-bombed Penix.
All right,
Then,
what did you think about Aurora?
based on who was still available there, F. There were one, two, three, four, five defensive tackles that were rated higher than Aurora.
Aurora, yeah. Holy cow, yeah, I was looking at, oh yeah, I was looking at it the wrong way when I was looking at Elijah Jones earlier. Um, well, no, his still kind of worked out, I guess. But all right, yeah, no, geez, there were a lot of defensive tackles ahead of this guy. What the heck? Is it because he's a big run stuffer? Is that what they wanted with him? I'm trying to remember. I thought I heard something about why they liked him. But man, yeah, I mean, Jerzon Newton was still there. Tavondre Sweat was still there. Fisk was still. I mean, oh my God, man. I mean, like a lot of like really highly rated defensive tackles were still there. All right, so what do you think on that grade? You smoke him on that one?
Oh, that for for
Aurora,
Aurora, that's a straight hard line F.
just another F because they missed on so much talent at that position. And they still
Yeah,
didn't address the edge, which was a way higher need.
exactly.
Okay. All right. And then what do you think about Braylon Trice at 74?
So I thought I I kind of like the fact that they addressed the edge there,
Yeah, it looks like
but
Jalix Hunt and Jonah Ellis were still available that were a little
exactly,
higher rated.
exactly.
I
Plus
don't,
the fact, plus the fact that if they wanted to go edge, if they were going to go edge, they should have gone edge with Aurora at
yeah,
35, where they would have been able to still pick up Marshawn Neeland, uh, Chris Braswell,
yeah. Yeah, I think they
Jonah
screwed
Ellis,
that up. I mean,
Jalen Hunt.
I like the pick. I just don't like the sequence, right? So, I don't know if I would F-bomb it, but it would be, what do you think? Lower, obviously, because they're idiots.
So I actually would give it an E.
An E. Okay.
Yes, I added that extra special E
All
in
right.
this
Extra special.
analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it takes an extra special person to fuck up that bad. No, I gave it an E because it's not quite an F, but it's still a terrible fucking pick.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I might have gone a little higher than that, but that's fine. So I guess where does that leave us overall? F for them?
F.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to do. I mean, the first one carries so much weight, right? That it just, they fucked it up good from there. So, oh man, Atlanta. Jeez. Just fucking grinds my gears, James. All right. So the Baltimore Ravens. At 30, they took cornerback Nate Wiggins. 62, they took offensive tackle Roger Rosengarten. And then at 94, they took linebacker Adisa Isaac. I like the Wiggins pick at 30. He was the number 25 ranked guy. What'd you think of that one?
I agreed with you I agree with you there. I like the pick at 30. You're getting value. One, I want to see something real quick.
Yeah, it looks like Cooper DeJean was still there. Um, but they're different styles of
Yeah,
guys. And
exactly.
I've heard from a lot of people that Cooper DeJean might profile better as a safety at the NFL level anyhow. And so, I think this was a good pick. I gave it an A, but what did you think
For
for
I gave
Wiggins?
for Wiggins, I gave Wiggins an A.
Okay.
I
What'd you
mean,
think about
I
the
mean
other
that
two?
that with those two, with Wiggins and Cooper DeJean, they're so closely rated. You're just kind of looking at who fits your system best.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and
I
you're
can't,
still getting a 25 guy at 30, right?
yeah.
So,
So at for Rosengarten, I give that a B. I just like it's right on value. You probably could have addressed another team need. But I didn't see tackle as a team need, so that's
yeah,
why
they
I gave
they
it a
had
B.
more of a guard need, right?
Exactly. And then the same with, this also depends for Isaac. It depends on where he grades up, where he's going to play.
Yeah.
If he's going to play the outside, I would give it a better grade, but I don't know that for sure. But also, one thing you have to consider is Peyton Wilson was still available there, who was rated
Yeah.
48, and you could have gotten that value with that, and that disparity in and of itself, and the fact that I didn't really see it as a team need unless he's playing outside on the edge, and I gave them the benefit of the doubt that that's their plan for him. So I gave it I gave it a B.
Okay. Yeah, and linebackers, so it's like this. I mean, Isaac was the 77 rated guy overall, ranked guy, and they got him at 94. So on paper, it looks like it's pretty good value, right? But
Hmm.
yeah, as you mentioned, Peyton Wilson was still out there, who was way higher value. And, there's a tendency in the draft for linebackers to go later than their ranking, right? I mean, it's one of those things. It's like we've talked about defensive tackles sometimes get pulled up, just like quarterbacks get pulled up. Linebackers are one of the ones that goes the other way, where typically they kind of fall down a little bit. And so
Hmm.
I think it was still good value, but I would have gone with Peyton Wilson for sure. So you got an A and two Bs. How'd you feel overall for these guys?
Overall, I'd give it a B. I think I think they did a good job with value, but kind of I I really think there should have been with the second and third round pick different players
Yeah.
drafted, possibly even different positions drafted.
Yeah, they could have taken a true guard. There were two solid guys out there. And then, yeah, they could have gotten a better linebacker for sure. All right, so next up, we got the Buffalo Bills. They did not have a first round pick, but they had a
But
couple in the second round
they didn't have a first round pick because
because
they
they
traded back twice.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes. So they had the first pick of the second round at 33 overall. They took wide receiver Keon Coleman. Then at 60, they took safety Cole Bishop. And at 96, they took defensive tackle Dwayne Carter. The first two, in my opinion, were kind of like hitting the nail on the head. They
Mhm.
had a big need at wide receiver, they had a big need at safety, and I feel like they got pretty good value out of both of those picks. At 96 with Dwayne Carter, on paper it doesn't look bad, but they definitely could have gone edge or cornerback. What did you think of these guys, man?
All right. So for Buffalo, what the first thing that sticks out to me is I think Keon Coleman was their number one target, was their target all along.
Yeah, and it
Because if you
helped them
look
to trade down and get them at a better spot.
if you look at it, they traded their first trade was with Kansas City, who traded up to get Xavier Worthy.
Yep.
So they could have taken a wide receiver there. Then at 32 they traded back again with Carolina, and they got additional picks from that, and Carolina also took a wide receiver. So my thought is that they were really targeting Keon Coleman. Anyways, I might have liked them to stay at 32 instead of 33 to get that fifth year
Yeah.
option, but with wide receivers, really, you're not going to exercise the fifth year option because where the wide receiver market is going, it's getting way too big for what the fifth year option would be for them.
Okay. So I gave Coleman an A. Is
Yes,
that, yep. Now, what'd you think about Bishop? I probably would have gone A on that as well.
yes, exactly. It fit a team need. He was he was probably the best available safety at that position or at
Yeah.
that spot, and it was a six pick value. Um, Also, I want to say I really want to say that I remember. I want to look at this. So number
Sure.
60. I want to say that no, that one wasn't involved in a trade back again. That one was their regular pick. So and then for Dwayne Carter, so he was.
I
My
mean,
question was,
here, I guess here's
where's
what I'm
going to
just going to
be?
say real quick before you go is the edge guys were gone, the cornerbacks were gone. Um, I mean, when you look at, I guess you could have gone center. Let's see. You could have, well, even then the centers were gone. Um, Man, it's almost like for what they had in terms of needs, the board just was not kind to them in the third round.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. Like I like the value when you analyze the pick. Like it's not really a need per se,
Yeah, but
but
Sean McDermott's like stacking that defensive line.
right. But everybody was basically gone there. I still gave this one a B just
I
because
like
it
that.
it didn't really fit a need, but they got value and it probably how the draft fell. In isolation, looking at it, it doesn't make sense, but looking at how the draft fell, it kind of does. But I
Yeah.
would like to see them if that's the case and you're not really getting a need there, I would like to see them try to trade out of that pick.
Yeah, I guess my question is, well, it doesn't even matter. I was going to say, would you go wide receiver and double down? Uh, but it looks like wide receiver fell off a cliff after the 93 pick. So, um, no, I think that was a good pick, Dwayne Carter, after analyzing it. What do you think for these guys overall? You got two A's and a B.
I would give them an A. Also the Dwayne Carter pick. Actually, I'm gonna revise my Dwayne Carter pick,
Sure.
and I'm gonna give them straight A's across the board because the thing I forgot about was that they got this pick
Yeah, plus
in
they
the trade with
accumulated picks. Yeah.
Kansas City. So this pick is kind of part of trading back for Coleman or trading back the two trade backs to get Coleman.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So pretty good overall. And I think the Bills needed that, right?
Hmm.
Because it seemed like this year they were losing some resources, and so they're kind of filling it back in, and you know they're I think on about the hottest seat you can be on in terms of they got to go deep in the playoffs or some things got to change, right? So,
Hmm.
all
And they got
right,
to win
next,
the Super Bowl, or something's got to change. Like not deep in the playoffs. They go deep in the
yeah,
playoffs pretty much
yeah,
every
you're
year.
right.
They got
It's
to
got
win
to be a
them
Super Bowl. Yeah.
or make it
Okay.
to.
So next up, we got the Carolina Panthers, and so they took wide receiver Xavier Legette at 32, running back Jonathan Brooks at 46, and linebacker Trevin Wallace at 72. Uh, I liked the first two picks. I liked Xavier Legette. I liked Jonathan Brooks. I thought Brooks was the best running back available, has running back one potential at the NFL level, and he'll fit into their committee really well, I think, and maybe end up, being the top guy. Um, the third pick, Trevin Wallace, that's one where I guess I got to look at who was still there. I mean, this is another one, man. I mean, you still had Peyton Wilson there. You still had Adisa Isaac there. Um, that one I'm not as warm and fuzzy on, but what did you think about these picks?
So for Xavier Leggett, I like the pick. He was their target. They traded up to get him, but they traded up to get him.
Yeah, and shit, I'm sorry, I just got distracted because there were still a couple edge guys available too that they could have taken in the third round. But all right, yeah, so go ahead.
So
Yeah,
so
they
they
traded
traded.
up to get Leggett, which, gave them the fifth year option, but you're saying probably is not actually going to get exercised. So,
Yeah, that and the fact that they only traded up to get the fifth year option, and they gave up. So the trade, they gave up a first and a sixth for a second and a fifth.
yeah, that's not a horrible trade, but I hear
It's
what you're
not that.
saying.
It's not a horrible trade. Um, I gave it just because of the trade up to get him and the prospects um, of using the fifth year option
Yeah,
are slim. Like I think Xavier Leggett, after 4 years, I think he will sign on basically whatever offer the Panthers give him
okay.
because of the fact that in the pre-draft process they told him that he was their guy. They were picking him first pick of the second round.
Yeah, and they got him. They
He
just traded up a little
he
bit to
told
do it.
him straight up.
Yeah.
Plus, Buffalo was not going to pick him because if Buffalo was going to pick him, knowing Carolina needed a wide receiver, they would not have traded back.
All right. So what do you give this one then?
An A minus
Okay.
because it's their guy. They went up and got him, but they went up and got him.
So, all right. So then in the second round, I like the Brooks pick, but it's a running back, which was one of their lower needs. They had a need at edge, especially with Brian Burns being traded, and they could have gone in a lot of different directions. They could have even went center. So, I mean, even though I like Brooks and I like the pick, I would not give it an A. I would probably
No.
do, a B or a C. But what do you think about that?
So one thing I want to point out about this pick is Marshawn Nealand was still there.
Yep.
Edge. Yeah, running back is a quote unquote need for the Panthers. I like the value in the pick, and it still fits a need. I thought they should have gone elsewhere with the pick, so I downgraded that a little bit and gave that a B minus.
Okay. And then what'd you think about Trevin Wallace?
Oh, what the fuck? 23 spot drop. Um,
Yeah, missing out
there.
on higher rated guys at the position. And then you're
Yeah.
also missing out on the two best available edge guys, which, were not as far of a reach. I mean,
Well, well, to, not as far of a reach, and graded out better
yeah, than Wallace.
than Wallace. I gave that one, and I was a little brutal with my ratings. Just you'll see that
It's fine.
in a minute. I gave that one an F.
Ooh, all right. So, yeah, now, I mean, I guess here's my only question with it is that could Wallace end up being sort of an edge guy? Because, Brian Burns, I believe, was a linebacker that really ended up becoming an edge guy, right? And so, I mean, that possibility does exist with some of these positions, but in either case, there were better edge guys available. So, in edge is the need. They don't list linebacker as the need. So, either way, all right. So, what do you think for these guys overall?
Well, well, I'm hearing you there on that. So this was with what pick? Who the fuck are we looking at?
Carolina.
Carolina, 72. So that's at 72. The next linebacker to go, okay, 87. I was going to say, could they have traded back and still got this player if they wanted to? Yeah, I was going to argue that, but I'll leave that alone.
Sure. Yeah, and I
Overall,
mean, they could have taken Zach Frazier at center, which was rated 63. I mean, I think they missed out on some value with that Trevin Wallace pick for sure.
I agree. agree with. They miss out on value. I mean, I just don't like it. I
All
don't
right.
like that pick at all.
So where do you go overall with these guys?
So overall, I just want to compare. That's not that bad. Overall, I gave them a C.
Okay. All right. Well, let's keep it going here. We got the Chicago Bears next. And so they had the no-brainer number one overall pick, Caleb Williams at quarterback. At number 9, they took wide receiver Rome Odunze. And then at 75, they took offensive tackle Karan. I'll just let you figure out how to say that guy's name.
Omega
Um,
DG.
Omega. And
Yeah, something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, I think we talked about Caleb Williams as like an obvious A, right? Or well, I mean, you kind of thought Drake May could have been the top guy, right? So, um, I mean, I think we agreed Odunze was an A, even though they could have went after an offensive lineman. Or maybe we don't agree on any of this. Where were you at on these?
So first, I would like to point out that I'll start from the bottom with Karan.
Yes,
That's a
just
huge reach, huge reach, and gone. You had a better player still available that graded basically at your pick number,
yeah, you had two guys available that were higher rated
and
at
then you
that position. Yeah,
at that position. So,
and you had
but it
a guard available that was way higher rated.
but it does fit a need in
Yeah.
as offensive tackle. So I gave it a C minus.
Okay.
Then I'll go back to the top with Caleb Williams. I gave Caleb Williams an A minus.
Okay.
And the reason I gave it an A minus is because I really think Drake May is a better quarterback. I
You think
in
he's
my
got the highest ceiling?
yeah, and I think they've done done this before with the player that's the no brainer pick and missed out on wide receiver on the quarterback. Like for
Yeah.
instance, let's talk about the last quarterback they drafted, Justin Fields. They traded up to draft him.
Yep.
Um, and
And Mitch Trubisky.
I forgot about, but they didn't trade up to draft Trubisky,
I'm pretty sure they did trade up with the 49ers.
did they?
Yeah, because it was like a laughing stock. You didn't need to trade up, and San Fran like
Oh,
spooked you into it, kind of thing.
that's right. They did trade up for Trubisky. They traded up to number fucking 2, and they gave up a whole shitload for it too. Well, they traded up one spot, but they gave up. They gave so San Francisco traded the first round selection for first, third, fourth, as well as a third rounder in 2018.
Yeah,
They gave up way too fucking
yeah,
much for him.
yeah. For a guy that they didn't have to, they could have just waited. They could have traded down and got him.
Right.
Uh,
But so when they traded up for him, I remember watching this fucking draft, and they traded up for Trubisky, and my honest out loud, I said, "What the fuck?"
oh, I was happy. I was like, okay, I think they just drafted a bum. We're gonna be in good shape.
Well, no, that's why I said, "What
Yeah,
the fuck?" Like
yeah,
I don't normally just spontaneously utter "What the fuck." Like I thought I didn't know much about Mahomes, so I can't talk much about saying, "Oh, well, they should have picked Mahomes."
yeah.
I didn't know
And
much about
Mahomes,
him.
when he came out, a lot of people said he was very raw, gonna need a lot of time to develop, and so, I don't think anybody expected Mahomes to be Mahomes.
No, I expected I expected Deshaun Watson to be Mahomes,
Yeah.
and that's who I thought they were trading up to pick. And then in 2021, they picked Justin Fields and traded up traded up to pick Justin Fields with the Giants. not much after him. So I was conflating the two Trubisky and
Sure.
um, just Ben Watson drafts. I had those reversed in my head.
All right. So what do you think about a Dunze then at number 9?
Adunze at number 9, unfortunately, is my favorite pick of the entire fucking draft.
Okay.
I think it's a perfect fit. I think he's you got value. You got a little bit of value there. I thought Adunze was going to go at 5.
Sure.
Yeah, 5, 4.
To the Chargers?
Yeah, to the Chargers, wherever the Chargers drafted. 5. I was right. So I thought he was going to go at 5, and I I love for Chicago the fact that he fell to them. But you also have to remember what the trade that allowed them to have the number 9 pick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no, that was their regular pick. It was the number 1 pick was the Carolina trade. Okay, I get those fucking reverse in my head.
Yeah. But I mean, it's all, it all came together from past trades and whatnot kind of
Yeah,
got him here. So, yeah.
yeah. So I gave that an A plus.
Okay. And where do you put these guys overall?
If it weren't for the
The C
third round
minus?
pick,
Yeah.
they would have been an A. I gave them a B.
Okay. All right. I can live with that. I probably would have gone, B plus or A minus, but either way, it's close. All right. So then we're on to the Cincinnati Bengals. These guys at 18 took offensive tackle Amarius Mims. 49, they took defensive tackle Chris Jenkins. I love that pick. 80, they took wide receiver Jermaine Burton. And then at 98, they took defensive tackle McKinley Jackson. What did you think? Let's just start at the top. What did you think of Mims?
So Cincinnati's another team that started off with a great fucking draft. A for Mims fit a need perfectly. You need to protect Burrow. Um, you don't have he if I remember his scouting right, he could play basically guard also. Um, then with Chris Jenkins, I think that's a great pick. A little bit of value. I gave that one an A as well.
Okay. All right. What did you think about Burton and Jackson?
So one thing I wanted to look up for Burton before I finalized that one.
Sure. Yeah, you had,
You had Roman Wilson,
two
Jalen
significantly
McMillan,
higher ranked guys. Yeah.
and Luke McCaffrey. I'm not going to quibble about
Yeah.
that.
That's close. Yeah.
But it did fit a need,
Yep.
so I gave them the extra special E.
The extra special E, because, yeah, you didn't
Because
want to F bomb them for missing on better talent. Yeah.
I didn't want to F bomb for missing on better talent, but I thought this was a big reach.
Yeah, it does
Then
seem like a pretty big reach. Yeah.
then with McKinley Jackson,
Yeah, you got about 100 spot reach on him.
you got about 100 spot reach on him. You just addressed the need for defensive tackle, and also
Yeah.
at defensive tackle, you had he was the last one taken in the first 3 rounds, so I have to go to my other source.
Yeah, I gotta believe there were some guys in there between the 100 and, or, let's see, 60, 94 was the last guy, and then you go to 195. I'm sure there were a couple defensive tackles in that
So you
100
had
range.
161, 79,
Ooh, yeah, that one stings.
179, 88, 144, 155, so basically with this pick, where'd it go? You picked the number 19 position rank for going the number 15, the number 9, the number 18, the number 10, the number 13, the number 14. It's a terrible fucking pick.
Okay. You F-bombing it?
It's
All right, so you got two A's, an E, and an F. How do you shake that out overall?
I would shake that out. I'd say probably a D plus C minus.
Let's go C minus. I'd probably, I might even go a little higher than that just because I weight the first two picks heavier, but
All right,
that's fine.
I can go C.
All right, let's go C.
I can go up to
We're
C.
splitting hairs. Let's do it. All right, so next up we got the Cleveland Browns. They didn't have a first round pick. They, at number 54, took defensive tackle Michael Hall Jr. And then at 85, they took offensive guard Zach Zinter out of Michigan. I like the Zintner pick, even though his ranking was 122. I really like his profile and think he can be a really good guard in the NFL. What did you think about these two guys, James?
So I like the Michael Hall Jr. pick. It was a little bit of a reach, fit a team need. I like that. For Zinter, I didn't really like that. I like
You
the
don't have to
player.
like it, man. You don't have to like it.
I like the player.
Yeah.
I
You don't
don't
like the
like
ranking.
I don't like the ranking. I also don't see that as a real team need. When at 85, you still could have picked. Let me see. Who could
No,
you have
that's a good
picked?
point. Yeah, because they don't even have offensive line listed as a top five need. I think it's important for them to keep that line stacked, um, especially with the way that what's his face Stefanski likes to run that offense. But of course, it's all changing with Watson there, so I don't know. Yeah, so they definitely could have gotten a bigger need and a
Well,
bigger value at that spot for sure.
just go to the linebackers that were picked after Cleveland picked Zinter. I'll go to number 94. You had Isaac. That is Isaac. You had Peyton
Yeah.
Wilson. It's just starting there. Like those are two bigger needs that you had you for that you ignored two picks enter.
All right. So what do you think for these grades then for Hall and Zintner?
Hall is an A.
Okay.
Zinter, because I like the player, I'll give it a C.
Gotcha. And you just go right in the middle, B on the overall, or are you going to boost it up a little bit to weight that first round pick or that second round pick?
Mhm.
I'd go B. Fuck them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I was trying to decide because I didn't do overall grades. I was trying to decide between B
Yeah.
minus, B minus,
We
C
got to
plus.
collaborate here, my man. Collaborative effort. Okay, Dallas Cowboys. These guys had four picks. At number 29, they took offensive tackle Tyler Guyton. At 56, they took edge Marshawn Nealand. At 73, they took offensive guard Cooper Beebe. And at 88, they took linebacker Marist Liufau, however you say that. I liked the first three picks. I thought they did really well. The fourth one, I'm not as like thrilled about. Um, and they did pass over some needs throughout the process here. They didn't get a wide receiver, they didn't get a defensive tackle, they didn't get a running back. So I don't know. It's tough. I like the three picks, but could they have gone elsewhere? What do you think for Dallas, man?
All right, I agree. I like the first two picks. I gave both those A's. First three. I'm sorry, first three. Like BB, you might be splitting hairs looking at who is still available, who at that position, but you're just kind of splitting hairs. It's like it's not that far of a drop or reach. next the
Yeah,
between it was
Christian Haynes was
70,
the next guy.
70
Yeah,
or
or the
78
yeah.
for Lufa, however the fuck you pronounce his name. Oh, let's see.
Yeah, it's another one where the linebackers, it just Isaac and Wilson for whatever reason fell hard, and then Leofau and Hopper, man, they got reached up big time.
Yeah, and on top of that, let's go to the needs. Wide receiver,
Yep.
offensive tackle, defensive tackle, running back, center.
Yeah.
So just that. Uh, Wait, did I say running back there? Just the next pick, Marshawn Lloyd, or you go to
Yeah.
wide receiver, Jalen McMillan. A couple picks later, there were better players that fit the team need there. I F-bombed them on that.
Okay. So then you got three A's and an F. How do you go overall on that? Maybe a B.
Yeah, I could feel comfortable with a B because those first two picks were so
They're
so
pretty
great,
strong. Yeah.
and then the third one is pretty good too. It's just that fourth one that's kind of, and you're
Yeah.
getting back like, I mean, you're almost done with the third round when you're picking him. So
Yeah. That's true. Okay, so then we got the Denver Broncos. These guys had two picks. The first one was number 12 overall. They took quarterback Bo Nix. And then at 76, they took edge Jonah Ellis. Nix, he, on paper was the 32nd ranked guy. And so, a little bit of a reach, except that it's a quarterback, right? And so these guys get pulled up the draft board. Um, and then, Jonah Ellis at 76, he was ranked 80. So, that's not a bad pick. But what did you think for these two guys, man?
all right, so for no, I'll just hit Jonah Ellis first. You have Jalex Hunt still available there, who was 69 overall,
Okay.
but it does fit a need. It's not too much of a reach. I would like them to go with Hunt versus Ellis. I'm not going to fully kill them for that, so I give that a B.
Okay.
Let's go to Bo Nix. If you're going to draft Bo Nix, a quarterback this early in the draft, let me say you're going to draft a quarterback this early in the draft, you want a guy that is ready to fit into your offense.
Yeah.
Sean Payton is going to have to change his offense for Bo Nix to start day one.
Okay.
Bo Nix in college ran mostly RPOs.
Yeah, a lot of RPOs you were telling me, yeah.
Payton runs minimal RPOs in his offense. I don't like the pick at all. I don't know. I'd have to think about who I would have liked them to pick
Yeah,
over
I
Nick.
think they were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? Quarterback was such a glaring freaking thing. And he was like the last guy available, basically. Would you have gone with like one of the top offensive tackles or cornerbacks or even an edge guy like Dallas Turner and just said,
Honestly, I probably like looking at it. I probably would have gone with Dallas Turner. I mean, Dallas Turner was the best edge guy in the draft
yeah,
by far. I would have gone with Dallas Turner.
and just tanked for
And
a year and then figured out your quarterback?
yeah, and then figure out your quarterback next year. Like build up the defense and go from there. Like
So how bad you want to smoke that? C, D?
C.
Okay.
I gave it a C because it is such a. I didn't smoke it as much because it's such a glaring need for them
Yeah.
that I think they panicked and picked him.
Okay.
I think if they waited, they could have traded, or they could have traded back, got pieces, and then picked him.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they could have for sure traded back and still gotten him, in my opinion. All right, well, what do you think? We just go kind of in the middle, do a C plus overall?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, next up we got the Packers, man. These guys had 5 picks, pretty solid. 25 overall, they took offensive tackle Jordan Morgan. Then at 45, linebacker Edgar and Cooper. 58, safety Javon Bullard. 89, running back Marshawn Lloyd. And then at 92, linebacker Tyron Hopper. The first 3 picks all were pretty like right in the zone on value, and they were all needs, right? The fourth pick, also pretty good value. We know they like running the committee approach with running back. Aaron Jones is gone, so there was kind of a vacancy there. And then, the linebacker one, this is another one of these weird ones where the linebackers sort of like flipped on the board, man. There were still 2 guys that just got crushed down and 2 guys that got like pulled way the fuck up for some reason.
All right. So for the first pick, yeah, it's right in the zone. But the problem that I had with the first pick is Tyler Guyton was still there.
Yeah, no, that I think is very important to call out. This guy, yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week. Yeah,
So because of the fact that because Guyton was still there, but it fit a need, I gave that pick a C.
okay,
I like the Edrin Cooper and the Javon Bullard. They're right in the range. I think with them, like it's actually I think both of them are the best available at the position at the time. No, because you still had Isaac and Wilson. Yep. So you still had Isaac and Wilson. But it fit a need. So I will also give that a C because I think it's right in the range, but there was
you're talking about for the linebacker. I mean, Edgar and Cooper was the top ranked guy.
oh, what the fuck am I looking at?
I
Oh
mean, I
fuck.
personally preferred Wilson, but Cooper had the higher ranking.
No. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I I was talking linebacker, but I was looking at Tyron Hooper or Hopper and talking Edger and Cooper. So I just got
Sure.
them mixed up.
Yeah.
At safety, it's a good pick. Like I mean, probably killed. Like can't really complain with the pick. It's good value. It fits a need for them. I like it.
All right. Throw me the grades on Cooper and Bullard.
Cooper A, Bullard
Okay. All right.
A.
What about these last two? Yeah.
Marshawn Lloyd F.
Oh, you didn't like Lloyd, huh?
So at pick number 89. First of all, running back was not a fucking need for them. I don't care if you want to say, oh well they do blah 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 blah.
Committee approach.
Committee approach. They had, and this is the same reasoning for the for not liking the pick at 92. You had Isaac and
Wilson.
Wilson still available there, higher graded players,
Way higher. Yeah.
way higher graded players. If you knew you were going linebacker at 92, why the fuck didn't you just go back to back linebacker here? Shore up your fucking defense. But also, if you look at the team needs, I'm going to call it this offensive guard need here.
Sure. Yeah, they could have done more on the offensive line for sure.
So, yeah, okay. There was a need I wanted to call out, but it wasn't guard. Was it? It must have been cornerback.
So I'm just noticing that something happened on this spreadsheet because the Detroit Lions aren't on here, James.
Uh, that's hilarious. We'll
Yeah,
come back to them.
I was just looking at the Packers and I'm like, wait a minute, we skipped over the Lions.
I don't like the third round selections for Green Bay. I gave both those an F. We'll come back to the Lions at the end.
All right, so for and yeah, I'm gonna write them down at the bottom here because that's weird that I don't know, maybe when I sorted them or something, I must have cut them out by mistake or something. But all right, so then we've got overall for Green Bay, we've got a C, two A's, two F's. I mean, what do? Just kind of throw them in the middle somewhere and just say C overall?
Yeah, I can go with that.
Okay.
You want to hear something even more fucked up?
Yeah. I noticed that some of my numbers are wrong too.
Well, no. What pick did the Lions have?
Overall,
Yeah, first
like
round, number 24,
24 or
correct?
something? Yeah.
You don't have them on the fucking list at all. Nowhere.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Somehow, like they got like deleted somehow. That's freaking weird, man. That is so weird. They're not
Okay.
in, and I mean, everything came out of the first spreadsheet, right? Like I just copied and pasted and
Yeah.
sorted. Like I don't know how the hell Detroit could not have been on here at all.
I don't know either.
I mean, actually I do know. I just figured it out.
What?
When I did this, I was using the ESPN best available and they sort it by team, but because Detroit is my favorite team,
It's at the first.
yeah. And I started with Arizona and went all the way to the end. Never even went back to Detroit.
So
Oh, all
I've
right.
done that. I've done that the other way, where like, where like I I I like missed like I wanted to go look at Detroit's picks, so I went looking for them. Arizona, blah blah. Wait, where the fuck is Detroit? Go, and then I found them at the beginning. So I've done
Yeah.
that too.
Oh man, I messed that up. All right, so we still got 21 teams to go here. So I'm thinking maybe we do a few more and what maybe just cut this in half, do the next half next time. What do you think?
Well, it depends if we're doing. Well, no, because we can do Friday next week. My wife will hate me, but
Well, we don't have to do next week, man. I mean, I know you were talking about taking it off, so
well, I get home early enough. Like my flight, like I'll be home by like, yeah. I think we have to take next week off.
yeah, let's just leave it off for now. I mean, if it changes, let me know, but don't push it, man. I don't want any waves on the home front. And I mean, honestly, we can do half of this, and if we decide to move on to another topic, who the hell cares? So,
All right. So then we go to the Houston Texans. They drafted at number 42.
two.
They didn't have a first round pick.
No, I think they
Huh.
they
Oh, that was part of the Arizona shit. That's right. They picked 42. They picked Kamari Lassiter, cornerback. Then they picked offensive tackle Blake Fisher at 59 and safety Kalen Bullock at 78. So they definitely addressed the team need of cornerback. Definitely did. Let's see who. It's not that bad of a pick at Lassiter. It it hits a need. It's a little bit of a stretch, but not bad. I can, but but the 42 pick, they got that. How did they get 42? 42, they was from Minnesota for. So they had a first round pick. They traded it to Minnesota. Oh gosh, the number 23 pick was traded. It was part of the Watson deal, and I don't even want to go through all that shit.
Sure.
Then Houston traded it to Minnesota for the first and seventh round for a second and sixth round, as well as a 2025 second round. And then Minnesota ended up trading that pick to Jacksonville. Based on the whole facts behind it and the trade and what they like, this is part of getting rid of the Deshaun Watson
Yeah. Purge.
fucking hell purge. I'll give it an A.
Okay.
Fits a need, best available at that spot.
I'd give it an A. I like it, man.
And then you have offensive tackle Blake Fisher, who they picked at, who was rated at a 56. They got him at 59, right in that range.
Yeah, I like that pick too.
I like that pick too. I'll give that one an A. Then they picked safety Kalen Bullock, who was rated at 102, doesn't really fit a need, and I want to say the need for them, which was at offensive or at tight end, that was the one I wanted to address. At 78, they could have gotten. No. I'm trying to pick apart this pick, but maybe edge. There was something
it's one
I
of these.
saw here.
Well, yeah, if you went down to Jalix Hunt was still available, 69 overall, that would have been probably like the most bang for the buck, right? But other than that, the board kind of fell out of their favor.
Yeah. So, but because it doesn't fit a need, I give it a B.
Okay.
So overall, I'd give them an A minus.
Yeah, I like that, man. I got to have faith in what they're doing, man. They had such a freaking blowout year out of nowhere last year.
Exactly.
All right, so next up we got the Indianapolis Colts. And so at 15 overall, they took edge Latu. At 52, they took wide receiver Adonai Mitchell, however you say that, sorry. And then at 79, they took offensive tackle Matt Goncalves. So what do you think about these picks
All
there,
right. So
James?
Latu. We talked about this last week. I give that a D.
A D as in dog?
A D as in dog.
Okay. Well, yeah, he does have a lot of injury stuff, and
Has
there's a lot of risk to this pick. Yeah.
Let's talk. Oh, wait a minute. The number 7 ranked player overall was still available here in Dallas Turner.
Yeah, I don't know why he fell, man. That bothers me still.
Adonai Mitchell, I give an A. It's really good value, fit a need. I like that pick.
Okay.
And then Goncalves, whatever. Ooh.
I mean, it's in the range, 76 rank,
It's in
79
the range,
overall.
doesn't really fit a need, but their quarterback did get hurt last year, so maybe it really was a need, and we're not realizing it.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's see. At 79, who was available at cornerback or safety? Let's see. I mean, it was one of the ones where it was just the best value, right? I mean, it didn't fit a need, but they couldn't pass on the value because the needs didn't have anybody in the range.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of looked at with it, so I gave it a B.
Okay.
Overall, I would give them a C, just because I thought they
Yeah, that
swung
first
and
pick's
missed
tough.
the first
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So next up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. And at number 23, they took wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. At number 48, they took defensive tackle Mason Smith. And at number 97, they took cornerback Jerry Jones. Um, I did like the first two picks. I thought the value was right, the needs were right. That third pick, I am scratching my freaking head, man. That guy was ranked 235, and they took him at 97.
So the thing I will push back on with Mason Smith is Chris Jenkins,
Oh yeah, Chris Jenkins was still there. Whew.
but it's kind of splitting hairs,
Yeah,
really.
47 versus
47,
49.
49. It's splitting hairs. I was thinking that Mason Smith was drafted ahead of Braden Fisk,
Sure.
which that's where I was having the issue. But um,
Yeah.
if it indeed, it's right in the range. So the first two picks, I gave an A.
Yeah, I'd just go AAF, man.
Exactly.
And then let's just say, I don't know.
B.
Yeah, B, maybe B minus. Let's just go B. B's fine. All right, that takes us to the Kansas City Chiefs, fucking Super Bowl champion, hard to stop motherfuckers. At 28 overall, they took wide receiver Xavier Worthy. They got their burner. And at 63, they took offensive tackle Kingsley Suamataia. How much do you like Worthy, man?
For Kansas City, I love Worthy.
Yeah, because you were comparing him to Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson. I love Worthy. He's like the prototypical player that wide receiver Andy Reid loves.
Yeah, they
I
can
mean,
make it work. Yeah.
he's a burner.
I think if he's on a different team, I probably don't see him translating well to the NFL.
Exactly, exactly. I also like the Sumata Mayatapan.
Yeah, the big
The
hoss.
thing with let me see if eh, no, I was gonna push back a little bit on Worthy. I I like the fit. They went up and got their guy. Um, I don't think he would have been available at 32, so I'm not going to kill them for the trade.
Yeah, it's not that big
It's
of a reach, right? I mean,
it's not that big of a reach. Well, no, no, I'm just talking about like the what they gave up in the trade. I'm not going to kill them
oh,
for
sure. Yeah.
because they traded so they Buffalo so they got the first, fourth, and seventh, and Kansas City got first, third, and seventh. So it's not really that bad. Actually, I think they got the better end of the deal.
Okay.
First, third, first, fourth. No, I'm sorry, I had it flipped. Buffalo got, but they got their guy, and that's the key there. I gave both picks A's.
And then that just gives us an overall A. I'm
Yeah,
good with that. I think they're both solid, man. I can't complain on either of those picks. Like I said, I think if Worthy is on a different team, I definitely would not like that pick. But for them, I think that it could be a great fit. Okay, so that takes us to the Chargers. They had the number 5 pick, offensive tackle Joe Alt. Then at 34, wide receiver Ladd McConkey. And then at 69, linebacker Junior Colson. I know it wasn't a popular pick, but I actually like the Joe Alt pick. Ladd McConkey, the rating was fine. I'm not like sold on him as his prospects in the NFL just yet. And then Junior Colson, I like him a lot as a linebacker. And, I mean, hey, this is Harbaugh getting a Harbaugh guy, right? So the value was there. And, they don't list it as a need, but I do believe linebacker is a need for them. So even though it's not on the top 5, I think this guy's going to play. What do you think of these guys, man?
All right. I think they did their picks backwards. I thought they should have gone with Neighbors and then come back and get the offensive tackle.
Okay.
Uh, just my
Yeah,
own
because I mean, you're
personal opinion
relying on
there.
Quentin Johnston and Lad McConkey to be your wide receivers now.
Exactly.
That's dicey.
And then Junior Colson, I just gave them B's across the board
Okay.
on this. Like, it's good value, yeah. Like, it may or may not be a need, but it's good value. I because I can't clearly define it as a team need, so
Sure.
I kind of the first two because I thought they were flipped, and then the third one because I can't define it as a team need. But I like the picks, but just not in love with the picks.
Yeah, I like your logic for all those, man. Makes sense to me. So that gets us through 16 teams. What do you think? Is this a good spot to cut it off?
Probably.
All right. All right. Yeah, no, I think if we try to push it, man, we're going to be here all night. So, um, I'm going to close off the spreadsheet here and, I'll take us to our question of the week. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, so James, for question of the week, I'm not going to do overall like which team do you like the best through the first three rounds. Maybe we'll save that for the next one. But I did come across an article earlier about Lamar Jackson deciding to lose weight this offseason in an effort to be more agile in the offense this year. Uh, my question is, do you agree that he is taking the correct approach by losing weight? And while you're thinking about it, I will tell you that I don't agree with this. I'm not a professional athlete. I'm not him, and so what the hell do I know? But this is a guy that's had injury issues in the past. He runs the ball a lot. Instead of beefing up, he's trimming down, which to me just means he's at higher risk of injury. And I don't know that him losing weight is going to make him that much faster. The dude is already like blazing speed as a quarterback. And so it just kind of blows my mind, man. When I saw it, I thought, what is going on here? What do you think, dude? What do you think?
So I disagree with the bulking up. Like, I don't think he should have bulked up because of the injuries he's had.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
don't.
he needed to bulk up either.
I
I'm
don't, no
just
no no
I'm
no
just
no. I'm
shocked
just
about him losing weight.
because the injuries he's had. I don't know if he was bigger or stronger, or I don't know if he was even smaller. It would affected the injury or
Sure.
make him more susceptible to that injury. He had a shoulder injury and he broke his leg.
Yeah, he's not going from thin as a rail to Cam Newton, right?
Right.
So, bulking up's not going to
So
get him there.
plus bulking up, we saw that, and maybe there was other issues with Russ, but when Russ went to Denver, he was big.
Oh, yeah.
His first year he was bigger, and he fell off the cliff, and
Yeah.
he hasn't been
Well,
able to get it
and
back.
Russ lost a lot of mobility by bulking up. So,
Yeah. Um. Do I think? I think I agree with you. Like, I'm trying to come up with an argument on how the fuck Deshaun Watson could be faster, but
Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I saw a similar article about Deshaun Watson. So I apologize.
No, and hey, maybe he's doing it too. But yeah, to me, it's like
He,
Lamar needs to
he
work
report.
on his pocket passing ability. You know, like we
Yeah.
know he can run, and that's not going to change. But it's, hey, man, just keep getting better as a quarterback because, you're already phenomenal at running with the football. If you can get phenomenal passing the football, man, you'll be freaking unstoppable. And it's not like he's bad throwing the football. It's just that if you're going to work on something, that's the spot, in my opinion.
So I don't think. So I'm going to retract what I said about the injuries because I was talking about um, Deshaun because
Okay.
I think maybe both of them were fucking doing the same thing or something, or I just conflated an article I saw about Deshaun and to Lamar. That's even more of an instance. How is he going to get faster? I think he was at the right size because his game isn't the fast isn't it doesn't matter how fast he is, it's his
Yeah,
shiftiness.
that's true.
And even with him, like maybe it's not going to hurt him and let him get injured more because of the fact that he really doesn't take that many hard hits
Yeah, he's pretty good about getting to the
as it is.
sideline.
He gets to the sidelines, he's shifty enough to where he's not getting a hard hit. I don't know what if it allows him to throw the ball better or it gives him that mental edge that he thinks he needs where he can escape because of the injuries he's had,
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah,
But
fucking Lamar Jackson has a 96 speed rating in Madden, dude. It's so goddamn fast, man. It's fast for any position, let alone a quarterback, dude.
yeah, at
Oh, that's got to be one of the fastest ratings in Madden.
so at all right, I'm gonna read this. So he didn't do the 40-yard dash during the combine, but he reportedly clocked a 4.34 40-yard dash in 2017 at Louisville.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, if Madden's got him at a 96, he's behind like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and that's probably it.
Oh, and don't forget Xavier Worthy. No,
Well, now is Xavier Worthy, yeah.
but that you're right. That's about it.
Yeah.
How? Why would he need to be faster? His his forte is the shiftiness.
Yeah. Well, and maybe trimming down will help him get a little more shifty.
Maybe it'll help him get a little more shifty, but I think what it will do is it'll give him that mental thing where if he thinks he's faster, he might stay in the pocket just that split second longer and
Yeah,
find the open
knowing that
receiver, which
he could evade if he needed to. Yeah,
exactly.
I got
So
you.
maybe it's a good thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just Lamar Jackson has like never like aligned with my brain, man. I don't know. Something about him just has never been right to me.
Yeah. So he's listed at 6'2", 215 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, that's running back size.
That's exactly, that's running back size. I don't
It's
know.
kind of like a tall, skinny running back.
How does how does he lose weight and not I think I have to agree with you. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't want my quarterback going down to 200 taking hits.
Yeah.
So, but
I wonder
hey,
I'm just curious. I wanna search something out. Who is
yeah.
the lightest quarterback
Oh,
in
fucking like
that?
Doug Flutie back in the day, maybe.
All right. So apparently it's Bryce Young
Right now, yeah.
right now.
Yeah, Bryce Young's on the small side for sure.
5'10" and 1/8.
180?
5'10" and 1/8 of an inch
Oh,
tall.
oh, gotcha. And what's he weigh?
204 pounds.
Okay. When you said I thought you said 180. I was like, no way, that's fucking crazy light for a quarterback. But all right, 204 pounds. At 5'10", that's not like, sickly skinny, right? But it's just small overall.
So at Alabama, when Bryce Young was having his success at Alabama, he was weighing in the 180s.
Oh my gosh, that's so, yeah, but college, I guess, it's a whole different world.
But no, no, no. But Alabama, which I mean, that's in the SEC with all those fucking
Yeah, some
big
big
ass
hosses. Yeah.
defensive linemen. Like basically, Alabama plays pro defenses every week. So here we go. Average height and weight by position in the NFL. Oh my gosh, this is like a real scientific study. Average quarterback in the NFL is 75.43 inches
Okay.
with an average weight of 224.97 pounds. So 75 inches is
What's that?
6'3"?
70. Yeah, that's 6. Yeah, 6'3", right? So
6'4".
6.
6'4". No, 6'3". I was right.
6'3", yeah.
I was right the first time. 224 pounds. Average weight of a running back in the NFL, 214.5 pounds.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Average
but
weight of a wide receiver, 200 pounds.
you get a lot of nowadays you get a lot of the change of pace backs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I would bet that that's brought the running back average weight down because you go back to like the 90s and you had like all the workhorse running backs, like all those guys were like 220, 230, like, built solid, right? And I think it's come down with all the committees and all the, maybe I'm wrong, but
So it looks like the average weight, like just glancing at this study, the high end is like 225, 230. Low end is like 190.
okay. What's the 190? Cornerbacks?
No.
Kickers?
That's running back.
Oh, the lowest running backs. I got you.
You want to get kickers, like you're talking like the lowest end of the kicker range is in like the 160s,
Okay.
150s.
Yeah.
But the quarterbacks, they're all lumped in like 205 to 240.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you don't have the big guys like Roethlisberger or Cam Newton anymore.
yeah.
Those guys, and even Philip Rivers. Well, Philip Rivers might have been in the 240-ish range, but Roethlisberger and Cam Newton, they were definitely built bigger, man.
That's crazy. I don't know why he would want to get lighter. It doesn't.
Yeah. Oh, even Cam Newton said he was 245.
All right. So the lightest player in the NFL currently.
Yeah, but it says Big Ben was 241. I highly, highly doubt Big Ben was 241. He was bigger than that, dude.
So currently on a team, the lightest player in the NFL, and I don't know. It's an undrafted free agent who's 5'7" and 142 pounds.
My hero.
He was just drafted or just signed this this offseason to the Broncos. And let me see what
What
position he
position?
plays.
Yeah.
I don't know because he does not have a Wikipedia page. So
Okay.
let me see if he is. What the fuck position does he play? He's got to be a wide receiver because he's wore number 80.
Yeah,
in
that sounds right. Yeah, just a
kick
little slot
returner,
guy.
kick returner, wide receiver.
Okay.
But that's fucking small.
That is small.
Anyways, I digress.
Yeah, so Lamar's crazy, but
Yeah,
we
I
already
think
knew
so.
that.
Definitely a little fucking crazy.
All right, well, that's all I got for the, pretty much the whole thing here, man. You got any closing thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, jokes you want to share
No, I just can't believe neither of us noticed until after we got to Green Bay that
that we skipped the Lions?
the
Yeah,
Lions were not on the fucking list.
that's shame on me, my man. Shame on me. Well, it's
Uh,
okay. Now I got time to add them to the list.
true, true.
Uh, all right. Well, hey, man, it was a good show. And yeah, for anybody who's watching, we hope you liked it. If you didn't, man, I mean, if you
What
made
the
it all
fuck
the
do
way
we
to
got to
the
do?
end, if you made it all the way to the end, I gotta say thank you because you're one of the diehards, maybe the only diehard. But that's okay. If you didn't make it to the end, you're like 99.9% of everyone we've ever talked to about the show. So,
True.
and yeah, that's all I got. So I'll let you go, my man.
All right, sounds good. Hope you have a good week.
Oh yeah, you too. See ya, dude.
Gridiron Grinder. Hut hut hike.